When a narcissist realizes that you are finally going to speak the truth, they start to panic, and you can see it on their face. For the first time, you will witness real fear in their eyes. You have seen their rage before, the kind where their eyes turn dark and cold. But this is different. This time, they look like frightened little rats, terrified for their survival. When they understand that you are not afraid anymore, that you could expose them simply by telling what really happened, they go into full damage control. Deep down, they know your truth is 1,000 times more powerful than all their carefully constructed lies. They start acting restless, cautious, and strangely polite, but underneath that fake calm, they are trembling because truth is the one thing they cannot control. So they try to get ahead of you. They begin dropping hints, twisting the story, and making people feel sorry for them before you have even said a word. They know that once your truth comes out, their entire act will collapse, and with it, the illusion of power they have lived behind all along. When they see their lies starting to come out, they will rush to defame you. They will accuse you of running a smear campaign, of trying to ruin their reputation, of being obsessed or vindictive. I'm Danish, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to uncover 5 signs the narcissist is scared you will tell the truth. The first sign is they accuse you of doxing or violating privacy. When a narcissist feels cornered, they start treating the truth like it is a weapon. They use the word privacy to shut down your voice, even when you never mentioned their name. You can talk about your story, experience, your plan, and they will twist it into you exposed me in a bad way, you lied about me. They create this fog where suddenly everything you say feels dangerous. They want you to feel like you are the one crossing a line just by being honest. They will say things like, you are putting me at risk, or you are encouraging hate against me. It is a performance. They want to make you look like the abuser so that no one looks too closely at them. They project their guilt outward. They will go on social media to claim they are being stalked or harassed when all you did was tell your side. They will use phrases like, this is illegal or this is doxing, but their real goal is to frighten you into silence. They create noise and confusion intentionally. They hint that your post caused a chain reaction or that people are messaging them. Most of it is exaggerated or completely made up. The point is not truth. The point is fear. They want you to start overthinking your every word until you start censoring yourself. And when they accuse you of doxing, what they are really doing is confessing. They know your story is recognizable. They know that people will connect the dots for themselves even without names. So they rush to discredit you before your truth gains momentum. They try to rewrite the rules of honesty itself. Number 2, they suddenly play the mental health or trauma card. When they sense exposure coming, they switch from arrogance to fragility. Overnight, the confident, self-assured person becomes a trembling victim of bullying. They start speaking in soft tones about how they are going through a difficult time and how people should be kind. They frame your honesty as cruelty. You will see them talk about anxiety, depression, or trauma. They start posting emotional quotes about healing and compassion. It looks innocent from the outside, but what they are doing is changing the emotional temperature of the room. They know people are more likely to protect someone who seems fragile than to question them. They will also make private calls and messages to mutual friends. They'll say, oh, I am really struggling. I just wish they would stop talking about me. What they are actually doing is creating a moral trap. Now, if you speak, it looks like you are hurting someone who is already broken. They hide behind sympathy. Sometimes they even announce that they are leaving social media. Why? Because of online toxicity. It's a silent accusation. They want everyone to believe that you are the cause behind their breakdown. They build an emotional wall so thick that no one can even ask what actually happened. They manipulate people's compassion to protect their reputation. They understand one thing very well. If they cannot win with logic, they will win with pity. Which brings us to number 3. They contact people behind your back to warn them about you. Before you even speak, they start preparing the ground. They plot and plan. They message people you both know, pretending to be concerned. They say, I think they are upset with me. I hope they're okay. Or I do not want any drama, but something is going on. Can you please check? These messages are trapped, not direct smear campaigns. They're designed to plant quiet suspicion. They do it calmly, never sounding angry. That is what makes it convincing. They sound like a mature, reasonable person who is trying to de-escalate. But what they are really doing is rewriting your story before you tell it. By the time you speak, people already have a version of events in their minds that favors the narcissist. They choose their targets carefully. They go to the people who value peace more than the truth, the ones who hate conflict. They use words like private matter or confidential so those people will not warn you. They are strategic about timing. They do it quietly, early, and with a smile on their face. They even perform sadness. It breaks my heart to say this, but they have become really unstable. They frame you as emotional, unpredictable, or bitter. They will say things like, I still wish them well, which sounds gracious, but is actually poison. They are pretending to be the bigger person while quietly destroying your credibility. And then, when you finally speak up, they act shocked. They say, I cannot believe they are doing this after all I did for them. They make your truth sound like an outburst. They play innocent because they already built the stage long before you arrived. Number 4, they pretend to confess in a controlled way. When the truth feels close to coming out, they try to get ahead of it. They admit to something small to hide something big. They will say, I was not perfect, or I made mistakes too, or I could have handled things better. These statements are rehearsed. They sound humble, but they are designed to neutralize you. They offer small pieces of guilt because they know that real accountability would destroy the image they have spent years building. So they give you half-truths and sprinkle them with emotion. It creates the illusion of honesty. People love redemption stories and they use that to their advantage. They may even cry or apologize publicly, but notice what they never do. They never name what they actually did. They never address specifics. They speak in vague sentences about miscommunication and lessons learned. It is a way of making you look unforgiving if you still talk about what happened. Sometimes they call it taking responsibility, but what they are really doing is closing the conversation before it starts. They want people to think the issue is already resolved, that you are the one who cannot move on. They are rewriting the ending while you're still in the middle of the story. They are scared of the real truth coming out, so they release a controlled version of it. It's like a leak they can manage. If they can shape how the story is told, they can survive it. It is damage control disguised as growth. And number 5, and the last one, they threaten you with legal, social, or emotional consequences. When all else fails, they turn to intimidation. You will hear words like, I will take legal action, or my lawyer will contact you. It almost never happens, but the goal is to make you panic. They rely on your fear of conflict. They want you to feel that you have stepped into something bigger than you can handle. They may not even mention the law directly, no. Sometimes they imply it. They talk about defamation or libel as if those words themselves are enough to silence you. Again, it's all performance. They are bluffing and they know it, but they count on you not knowing the difference. If legal threats do not work, they turn to social ones. They may say, I will tell everyone what kind of person you really are. They gather screenshots, twist private conversations, and turn context into weaponry. They start contacting your acquaintances, posting vague stories, or dropping passive-aggressive captions. It is a social war disguised as self-defense. They also use emotional threats. If you say anything, you will ruin my life. You're hurting me. They will cry, plead, of course, promise to change. It can be confusing because it mixes fear and guilt. You feel like you are the one doing something wrong for simply telling the truth. But behind the tears and threats, there is fear. They know that when truth surfaces, everything collapses. Their stories, reputation, their web of lies, all of it depend on silence. So they create a storm of consequences to make truth look costly. The irony is that the louder they threaten, the more they expose themselves. They panic. Their panic speaks louder than your words ever could. People start noticing the pattern. They start asking why someone so innocent is working this hard to stay hidden. But the truth is one, they know what they did, and you must continue exposing them safely. You must speak your truth where it matters. With that, let's bring this episode to an end. Thank you so much for listening. I will talk to you in the next one. Until then, as always, let the healing begin and continue.